Imagine crying by a riverbank, feeling completely alone, when suddenly a sleepy voice starts talking to you. Today, we are exploring a beautiful and touching story about a young girl's desperate desire to learn and the unusual friend who helps her find her courage. Welcome to our next story breakdown. The story begins with a young girl named Jahnavi sitting by the river's edge, crying. A big bright tear splashes down her nose as a blue kingfisher swoops by and a green lizard slithers down to bask in the sun. Suddenly, a sleepy, murmuring voice asks, Dear, what's the matter? Startled, Janvi looks around but sees absolutely no one. It couldn't be the lizard. The kingfisher is busy eating a fish, and the parrots are too loud to have such a sleepy voice. Scared, she wants to run away, but the voice tells her not to cry and not to be scared, noting she visits almost every day. Jahnavi is completely puzzled until she realizes the voice, which sounds just like the river, is actually the river itself. The river asks her what's wrong, explaining it has to hurry to reach the sea. Jahnavi pours her heart out. Her family won't let her go to school. She explains that when she was younger, her mother said she was too small. But when her little brother Ramu was born, her mother told her she had to mind him while she went to the fields. Now, at nearly 10 years old, she's stuck minding her youngest brother, little Appu. Jahnavi stops with a sob, expressing her fear that she's too old and they'll never let her go. But she desperately wants to learn to read like her older siblings, Etan and Meena. Her mind is full of questions. Why spiders are yellow in yellow flowers, why bamboo rustles, why the moon always comes from behind the hills, and why baby fish become frogs. The river playfully interrupts her, saying she makes it breathless with so many whys. The river conspiratorially tells her it knows where the moon goes. It travels over the mountains and down to the sea, just like the river itself. Jahnavi laments that even little Ramu goes to school. The river sympathizes, wishing the school was by the sea so it could take her, but admits she'd get her feet wet. The river then suggests a daring plan. Seems to me little girls can do as much as little boys. You just slip along one morning and sit there in the school and listen to what's going on, and maybe the teacher will let you stay. Jahnavi gasps, terrified that they'd scare her and chase her out. The river laughs, pointing out that she isn't afraid of the green lizard, the noisy trains, or even the snake in the bamboo clump, which Jahnavi didn't even know was there. The river distracts her by talking about massive ships that sail the sea with lights shining all night. When Jahnavi asks if the ships will come to the river, it explains they are too large, but suggests a man named Chandu could take her on his catamaran to see one someday. When Jahnavi wails that they'd never let her, the river gives her one final push. Try going to school first. Remember, it's up to you. Gathering all her courage, Jahnavi arrives at the school the next day, panting and out of breath. With little Appu asleep on her shoulder, she listens from the door as the teacher reads a story about King Ashoka. Slowly, she creeps nearer and nearer until she is squatting in the back row with the other students. Eventually, the teacher spots her and asks, Where did you spring from, little girl? The boys in the class explain that she is Gopi's little sister, Jahnavi. To her amazement, the kind teacher tells her, If you really want to come to my school, Jahnavi, we'll talk to your father about it. Don't you worry, we'll find a way. The next evening, Jahnavi sees the teacher talking to her worried looking father. Her mother then tells her something wonderful. She is glad the teacher came to talk to her father, because when she was Jahnavi's age, her own grandmother hadn't allowed her to go to school. Her mother firmly states, Girls should learn as much as they want. Overjoyed, Jahnavi tells her mother her ultimate dream. When she grows up, she wants to be a teacher, go from house to house in the village, and invite all the little girls to her school so she can teach them everything she's going to learn. The next morning before school, Jahnavi runs down to the river to share her incredible news. She proudly announces, "I did it! I was scared, but I did it." She tells the river she's finally going to learn to write her name, do sums, and find out why fish turn into frogs. The river gives a sleepy chuckle and replies, "Come again, little girl, and I'll tell you all about the ships that sail the sea."